This video will cover ACM to ACC integration. This procedure will link your ACM system to an ACC video system to allow for several useful features. One, this will allow you to connect your ACM database to pull in ACM operator identities into ACC. This will actually allow you the ability for your ACM users or operators to use the same login and password on their ACC system to monitor video. This will also allow you to link cameras to doors for triggering door grant requests from within an ACC video view. We'll also show how to use the ACC rules engine to trigger camera events directly from an ACC door or input event. Keep in mind, this does not require the ACC to ACM alarm gateway or vid proxy to be installed or configured. A couple quick prerequisites. It is always recommended that you have the latest version of ACM and ACC installed. You will need an administrator account on both ACC and ACM to perform this task. The ACM and ACC systems must be on the same network, and you cannot have duplicate ACM and ACC usernames. So to set up the ACM to ACC integration, first we need to go over to ACM and log in as an administrator. And we're going to be creating a user account or an operator that will link ACC to ACM. So we're going to go into identities. We're going to add an identity. For this, doesn't matter what you put in as first and last name, just make sure it's something you can remember. And then you will require a login. Make sure that this is something that you can remember as well. Make sure to set the inactivity timer to indefinite. And then make sure you're also setting a password that follows the password policies of both ACM and ACC. Save that. And by default, you can use the superadmin role, which will allow this user to create the connection between ACC and ACM. You can also set up a specific delegation for a specific role that would only give this user account access to making the connection between ACC and ACM. So once I click save here, we're done in ACM. We can navigate over here to ACC, and we're going to log in as a local administrator on ACC. We're going to go into setup, and we're going to click the access control icon. This has already been filled out because I've actually done this once before, but you're going to put the host name of your ACM appliance here, the connect port here, and they're going to use that username and password that we set over here over in ACM. I'll just go ahead and retype it. If you've done this correctly, you should see a little icon here that says AC, and you should get a little green icon up here that says connected to Access Control Manager at your IP address. So from here, what we want to do is we actually want to pull in users and groups from ACM. Now keep in mind, when doing this process, you cannot have any users that conflict between ACC and ACM, meaning you cannot have any users that are using the same username between the two. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to users and groups. We're going to go to the external directory. We're going to enable and go down here to the ACM. We do. And now what we're going to do is we're going to associate. So what this is saying is I'm going to copy the permissions from my ACC user group. So I'm going to use administrators. And I'm going to pick the role within ACM that I want to associate with that. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use superadmin. We're going to click OK. And now what you'll see is you have a new group within ACC, and it should pull new users into ACC. Okay. Now from here, I'm actually going to log out of ACM or ACC using that local address, and I'm going to log in with one of my ACM super user accounts. What you'll notice is the camera tree is still the same. I have cameras in my tree. I can go in and I can set up, right? So I can see all my users here, my groups, external directory. And now from here, I can start doing door linking. So door linking allows you to link a specific camera to a specific door or a door to multiple cameras. So for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to link this building 1 front entrance door to this door view. If I click OK, you'll now see I have a camera linked here. If I go back over to my views and I pull this camera into a view, what you'll notice is I now have this little icon up here in the upper left-hand corner that if I hover over it says Grant Door Access. When I drop down, click the button, I granted door access on the front door. Okay, that's going to follow the timer that's set up as the standard access time for that specific door. Okay, like I mentioned, you can associate multiple cameras to one door. So we'll close out of this window. And now I'm going to show you how you can utilize ACC's rules engine to generate events from within ACM and have them trigger some sort of event in ACC. So first thing we're going to do is go over to rules and then click add. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, you'll see all of the access control events that can be pulled into ACC. So we have things like door access denied, door access granted, doors closed, doors forced. And we've recently introduced the ability to trigger based on a specific input on ACM. So this could be very important for things like utilizing a panic button underneath a counter that could trigger an event in ACM, and also trigger camera events in ACC. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to use a door forced event. I'm going to go ahead and select the door that I want, which was that front entrance door that we did before. And then I'm going to utilize the rule to say, well, what do I want that event to trigger? So I can have it trigger a live stream. I'm going to go ahead and select the camera that I want. So we're going to use door view. And then you can select the users that you want this sent to. This is very important if you only want these events to be sent to a user that may be logged in at a specific time, like a security operator may need to see one set of doors, but another security operator may only have a set or a different set of cameras or doors that he or she can see. So we'll click OK. Now keep in mind, I could set all of these other rules as well. I could have this play a sound. I could have it send an email with a link attached or with a photo attached. I could have it do any of these other events, right? Including trigger an alarm. So we'll click next. We're not using the digital inputs or outputs. So we're just going to do door forced as the name. And we want this to run all the time. So now in my rules window, I have this door forced event. If I come back over here to my view and I force a door on my system, a video pane pops up. So you'll see my door is actually forced. I have an output on my ACM board that's showing that door is forced, and a live video stream came up of the event. Okay. Return the door to its normal state, and I can close out of this window.